Tony Robbins has his hour of power, where he focuses on creating what he calls a peak state that gets him in a good mood no matter where he is, anywhere in the world. No matter what his seminar schedule looks like, no matter what's going on in his life, no matter how weird or bad the day before was. That guarantees he starts his day off right. Robin Sharma has a 20-20-20 rule, which involves exercise and reflection and reviewing your goals. The Dalai Lama gets up at 3:30 in the morning to do 4 hours of mandatory prayers, chanting, and rituals to set him up properly for the day. Do you know what Kobe Bryant does? By 7 a.m. when most people wake up, he's already done an hour or two of work, and when people get started, he's going to do another few hours of work before doing a full day of video review, drills, practicing, and then doing more in the evening. So if many of the most successful people in the world, and I don't just mean financial success or career success, look at the Dalai Lama, if they're all doing morning routines, then why aren't you? What's up guys, Alex Hine here, author of Master the Day. When I realized the power of a morning routine, for me, it was in my early and mid-20s when I was really depressed. There were all these things I wanted to change in my life. I was dissatisfied with my financial life, with my health to a certain extent, with the fact that I didn't have that many friends, and my career sucked because I didn't really have a career. And in general, I woke up and felt like my life didn't have a purpose, and honestly, my life didn't have very much meaning. And I read about morning routines from many of these successful people, but the reason why I started it was because the morning was so goddamn stressful, it was so freaking unhappy, it was my lowest mood of the day, that I figured, you know what? If I start the morning with this same set of practices, then maybe I can at least somehow regulate my mental state, right? At least maybe then I can start the morning off in a good mood on the right side of the bed, and maybe then it'll also help me reach my goals faster and in a more painless way. So I ended up starting doing this morning routine, and now it really is a cornerstone because it does dramatically change the way I live each day. Because if the morning starts off right for me, most of the time the day will go off great. So the very first part of my morning routine involves yoga or Qigong. Now the reason why I started doing yoga is not because it has any magical special health benefits, even though obviously it does. The reason for yoga for me is the fact that I had a lot of back and neck pain from working at a desk for so many years, and doing a very basic set of yoga postures seems to help quite a lot. The second thing is I like starting with some kind of exercise, anything that'll get my heart rate elevated, because it's honestly just a lot easier to wake up in the morning when I'm getting out of bed, I hang out for 30 seconds, and then I do something that's gentle but gets my heart rate up. I'm not going hard at the gym. I'm doing something gentle, consistent, rhythmic, and it also elevates my heart, so it wakes me up and it gets me ready for the next thing. Now the next thing is more and more what I've been doing is Qigong. Now Qigong originates in China. It's from Chinese medicine, and Qigong essentially is an exercise that helps prolong health. Now it's said to basically regulate the qi of the body. Now qi doesn't necessarily mean energy, it just means the processes. It's a hard word to translate. But Qigong to me, the way I view it is as almost like a meditative form of exercise. There are no fast and rapid movements. There are no hard, speedy things that get your heart rate pounding and you out of breath. But it does improve your cardiovascular system almost as good as or better than exercise without pounding your knees on pavement and so on. The reason for me doing Qigong in the morning is, again, it's a very slow, rhythmic way to essentially exercise and get my heart rate elevated. And it actually puts me just in a really good mood. Then the third thing that I do is meditation. The reason for meditation is, for me, bottom line, just because I have an inherent interest in it, really since I was always a kid. And the power of meditation is, I think, as time goes on, 2016, 17 to 2020, 2030, I think meditation is going to be seeing a massive resurgence. And the reason for that is most of us are going friggin' crazy. I mean, people are going absolutely insane now with the fact that there's so many stressors. There's social media on the phone. We're checking 48 times a day and we're giving ourselves ADD like squirrels outside. So for me, meditation is setting the foundation for the day. The morning, maybe sometimes you're in a bad mood like I am. Maybe sometimes there are fears that come up. Maybe there's anxiety and anger about the day you've got to go through, your job, or some other experience you have to go through. And for me, meditation is just making sure I start my mind with the blank slate. Because with the blank slate, life is just so much more smooth. It's easier. It's effortless. It's way more effortless than a person who doesn't meditate. And so for me, the key of meditation is waking up, being in that calm, receptive state of mind, and then living my life that way. After meditation, what I do is I work on visualizing my goals. Now, I've shot that video where I've walked you through exactly how I set and I visualize my goals. I'm a big believer in aiming for that 10 out of 10 life, so I never just visualize, a fitness goal or a financial goal. I visualize my whole life, because visualizing just one of those does not produce a fulfilled life. Those are just aspects of a good life. So I have all the aspects of my life written out on one piece of paper. You could check out that video, or you could check out the creative visualization video I talked about and I shot. I use those so that every morning I know exactly what I want to be visualizing. I know exactly the life I want to create. And I'm a big believer that it's like a treasure map, right? If you wake up and once a year you think about your goals on the new year when it's convenient, well, that's great. That's better than most people. But what would happen if you did that daily, right? If you do it once a year, that's great. And what that means is that you're going to actually be reflecting on what you need to change about yourself in order to get to the goal. But if you do that daily, now you're improving yourself 365 times. That's in 1 year. You're doing what you would normally be doing in 365 years. So imagine the kind of progress you can make in 1 year if you think about the same thing every single day. So I go through financial life. Okay, this is what I want it to look like and feel like, and this is how I want it to be. My health. This is what I want my body to look like. This is what my health should look like. This is how I want it to be. My relationships with my parents, with my friends, with my girlfriend. How do I want all of those to look to be just an awesome life? And then I go through my spirituality. How do I want to cultivate myself? When people, and eventually in 4 years when I see patients, when patients come to me, how do they feel when they come to me, right? Do I make them feel a certain way because I have some kind of special character or special cultivation? And then I go through all the other aspects. But again, to me, the power of visualizing goals daily, the real secret to it is that it's like a treasure map. It's waking up with an X on the map, and all you have to do every day is take 2 steps forward. That's it. But without the map, you don't know where you're going. You don't know what to do. You don't know how hard to work or how far to go or when to stop. You don't know any of that without a map. That is your treasure map every morning. From there, I do some gratitudes. Now, these just take a couple minutes. These originated again with me being unhappy and not being satisfied with my life. But what I do is I typically choose 3 experiences, right? Any 3 experiences. I usually tend to pick like traveling with my girlfriend, for example, or some other experience that's happened recently. And I just project myself into it. So maybe I see myself sitting on this outcropping, this area in Belize where we went to these Mayan ruins, and we're just sitting there and it's pure quiet. There's almost nobody else there, and we're just looking over the forest there, over the jungle. And I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm so impressed by how this ancient culture could have done this. The scenery is beautiful. I'm, with my girlfriend. We're on this awesome trip, been having so much fun. And it's just one of those moments where you're like, man, this would be awesome if this could really be my life more often. And when you go through that experience, when you start thinking about that, it just puts you in a good mood. It really just does put you in a better mood. And that kind of priming, that feeling of priming, you can feel yourself change. Not only the look on your face, but the way you feel. And it's such a better way to start the morning. But again, for me, it originated in pain, just not being happy for years on end. And then finally, in my morning routine, I'm actually a big fan of listening to inspirational tracks. So I use 8 tracks. These are like those short inspirational speeches you see on YouTube here, but they've been exported as audio. And I actually play them and shuffle them. And again, for me, the morning was always just like a brick to the face, like a punch to the face when I woke up. So when I play these inspirational tracks, sometimes I used to do it when I was going through my whole routine besides meditation. But now I do it at the final part where maybe I write some things down about the day and I review my schedule for the day ahead. So I'm big on planning the day before what I'm doing the next day, because again, I'm juggling quite a few things, a 4-year doctoral program in Chinese medicine, my own audience, my business, and all the other things of life, being healthy, cooking food, being happy. I'm juggling a lot. So I find that if I look at my schedule, I write it all out the night before, I can look at the day and I'm like, all right, let's do this. So I know exactly what's going on. I'm not going to miss any appointments. And it's really easy to stay focused when you have a ton on your plate. That at a high level is my morning routine. Now for you, one of the things is I often hear people say, I don't have a lot of time. And guess what? I'm the same way. Like when the weekend comes, I don't necessarily want to sit here for an hour and do that. I tend to spend 30 to 40 minutes. And on the weekend, what I do is to maintain the habit, rather than not doing it, I just do all that in 10 minutes. All right? You can do all that in 5 minutes. The important thing is to keep doing it, even if it's just a couple minutes, so that you keep the routine anchored in your life. You want the ritual to be anchored to waking up. And again, we know from the habit research that habits that are most likely to be stuck with are the ones that are linked to events like waking up. So that is my morning routine. I want you to leave a comment there below. Let me know which of these you could add to your own morning routine. And if you don't have one, what could you start doing? I don't expect you to do 10 or 5 things every day right now, but which things do you think would have the greatest impact in your life? Tell me right there below. Hey guys, it's Alex. Did you like this video? If so, there are 3 ways you can really stay in touch with me. The first thing is obviously to click the subscribe button right there. Every single day I'm releasing a brand new Tiny Habit video to help you lose weight, feel awesome, and live better. Second thing is you can check out my book, Master the Day. Brand new, just came out, it's been topping the Amazon bestseller list, and it's been getting great feedback. It's all about the tiny success habits to help you lose your next 20 or 30 pounds and get to kind of that next level, both in your health, but also in your life. And the third thing is, come visit me over on my website, modernhealthmonk.com. Punch in your email there and I'll give you a free guide on the exact 5 daily habits to help you lose your next 20 or 30 pounds. So go do those 3 things now, and I look forward to catching you in the next video.